Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at the infamous toys, the Gravel, aka Korg, based off his appearance in Thor Love and Thunder. Now I got mine at a discount from KG Hobby. As always, this is not a promotional video, this is a review, all opinions are 100% my own. I have popped a link to their site in the description below for your reference purposes only. If you are heading down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new third-party MCU figure review goes live on the channel. Finally, a 1/6 scale Korg. I don't know what the hell took so long. I knew a third-party company would tackle him eventually, but I expected him far sooner than this. Either way, he's here now, and that's all that matters. As for the box art, we've got a glossy silhouetted image of Korg up front, and that contrasts against the satin-finished black background, an infamous logo down below, and his third-party name, the Gravel. This is a pretty freaking big box. I've got a feeling that Korg is going to be massive. On the side of it, we have his third-party name once more, and the color scheme plus the font they've chosen is, I think, meant to look like the Thor Love and Thunder logo. Around the back, nothing really. We've just got infamous and down below some warnings and legal information. Whoa, I knew this figure would be big. I was not expecting this. Dude takes up pretty much the entire foam insert for the box. And he's surprisingly heavy. So, first in-hand impressions? Yeah, so far so good. What we're going to do now is get all of Korg's accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Normally we'd start off with the display base first. Due to the sheer size of Korg, I assume, Infamous decided not to give him one. Luckily, the figure himself is more than good enough to make up for the lack of a display base. He does come with this huge mace-type weapon. It genuinely is taking up the entire frame, and it's made of a softer rubbery plastic, so wedging this in his gripping hands shouldn't be a massive challenge. Or maybe I should have said gripping hand, because he only actually has one of them. But he does have two head sculpts, and we will be trying out both of these and discussing them in way more detail a little bit later. I already have a pretty good idea which one of the two is going to be my favourite. He does come with a full array of four-fingered rocky-looking hands, and they're made of a softer, pliable, rubbery material. I'm hoping swapping these onto the body is going to be quite easy. Here's that one gripping hand, and yes, it also is made out of a soft, rubbery material. We do get a peace sign hand. This one is my favourite of the bunch. And then lastly, two closed fists already installed on him out of the box. What we're going to do now is get Korg himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. Infamous? Well done. This figure is exactly what I was hoping for and more. It's a monster of a piece with great detail, decent accessories, and a shit ton of presents. Korg is one of my favourite MCU characters, and I'm glad I finally have him in 1/6 scale. Big figures like this can really elevate a display because it draws your eye up, and like I already said just a second ago, the presence is what gets me. I cannot wait to see what he looks like standing alongside the other official Thor Love and Thunder figures. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Korg's first head sculpt. We will try out the smiling one because I've got a feeling I'm probably going to go with it long term in my display. Getting Korg's likeness to show through when this figure is just essentially a bunch of rocks with some grey dry brushing over the top and a black wash in the crevices cannot have been easy. It might seem like a straightforward task, but getting the shape right and also having the nose and the eyes and the lips all be visible against the built-in craggly rockwork, yeah, it is impressive, and I love the way this head sculpt turned out. Painting the eyes in such a high gloss finish so that they pop, that was the right call. Still, I am curious to see what the other one looks like on the body. I just now noticed when I was installing this head sculpt off camera that they've also added a brown wash over the top. So it's a black wash, a brown wash, a base layer of grey, and then some dry brushing. They've gone heavy with the paint. They didn't skimp when it comes to budget, and this figure looks all the better for it. Speaking of looking all the better, this isn't going to be for everyone, this sculpt I mean. It certainly is for me. The goofy grin, the wide open eyes. With a bit of a head tilt, this is a more jovial look for Korg, and it's exactly what I was after. The faux fur cape thing does give him the illusion of bulky shoulder pads. It feels nice and plush, and it's been weathered with both black and brown paint. The straps underneath it, they're sculpted plastic. They're a little bit soft, so you can move them around pose depending. They've hit it with a lighter brown dry brush to bring out all of this leather grain texture. Then they've gone in with some silver and painted the rivets and buckles. I mean, all of this stuff, the harness, the belt, the gauntlets, and these armor plates on the sides of his thighs, they do look like they could be made out of leather. That grain is very, very prominent. The reason for that is quite likely the wash and then the lighter brown dry brush. His torso is mostly hollow. I understand why they did that, because otherwise this guy would be so heavy that he wouldn't be able to stand. There's more craggly rock work for his skin, just poking through underneath the straps and the harness and all the other bits and pieces. I know I've already said this, I want to come back to it. With the head sculpt, being able to see all of that definition and make out a face in between the rocks, impressive. The same thing can be said for the musculature. We've got abs and pecs and rounded shoulders and a bicep and a little bit of rock sticking out for his elbow. The elbow joint itself isn't the prettiest thing in the world. They have added a dry brush over the top of this single bend joint to try and help blend it in a little. I'm probably just going to leave his elbows bent permanently, holding his weapon in both hands, because when you do that, this guy is just seamless from head to toe. I cannot tell you how much of a chore this guy is to handle on camera. He's an unwieldy mess. The belt is free floating, so you can adjust it up and down, but the thigh armor pieces and his knee pads, they are glued in place. His pants have a symmetrical pattern to them, but the print itself isn't symmetrical. We've got different dirty, splodgy marks on the surface and also different colors in the patterns. The only complaint I have with the pants is that they look faded. You could say that maybe they're old and that's why they look this way. I believe this is just poor printing. If they had dialed up the ink flow, these pants would have looked way more vibrant. They're not terrible. I don't want to make it sound like they're absolutely atrocious. They're still great, and from a distance, they're going to work just fine. There is some padding underneath them to round out the legs, and that smooth look to the pants does quite nicely contrast with the rocky upper torso. His thigh armor plates are made of this soft rubbery plastic. We've got the gold panels with weathering. Oh, and this ram head is also done in the same gold. It's quite shiny. Then we've got more of it and more weathering on the knee pads. These, not quite sure what to call them. Let's go with ankle warmers, are made of the same faux fur as the shoulder pad cape piece. We've got some strings wrapped around them. They're not super visible. You do have to hunt for them. They are accurate. They're supposed to be there. They should be more prominent than they are on the figure. They just blend in with the fur, and that shouldn't be the case. His feet have 4 toes around the front. There's more of that rock work. And then on the underside, they're fully detailed, without any printing or anything to ruin the sense of realism, for as real as 2 big, rocky, 4-toed feet can look, of course. For a quick side-by-side comparison, this looks so freaking good. Although it's not perfect. I never thought I'd be saying this about a huge 1/6 scale Korg. He's too big. He's just overscaled. In the MCU, Korg is billed as 7'7", and looking at some screenshots for reference, Thor's head should come up to right around underneath Korg's chin. Not a deal breaker for me. I would much rather an overscaled Korg as compared to an underscaled one. This should hammer that point home. Valkyrie is even shorter than Thor is, so next to Korg, he just dwarfs her. Ooh, this I love. Mighty Thor is my favourite figure from the line, bar none. She is taller than Valkyrie, she's shorter than Thor. The scaling is off, but at the same time, Korg is big, so yeah, it works for me. I wanted to throw in a non-Love and Thunder figure just so you can see how Korg scales next to someone outside of that line. Here we have the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord. Yeah, Korg is taller, as to be expected. How about next to Hot Toys' version of Korg? This is what they gave us to represent this character. A stupid little throwaway accessory. Absolutely not. I much prefer the figure on the left, and I'm 99% sure you're all going to be with me on that. Going over articulation, this figure is a beast to handle on camera, so if this is not the smoothest articulation segment, I apologize in advance for that. Starting off with his head sculpt, it's on a double ball peg, looking forward to there, looking up to there, further than I expected, honestly. Swivel and pivot side to side. His arms will go up to there, going forward and back. There is a butterfly joint at the shoulder that also hinges up and down. You don't get a ton of range out of that though. Single bend at the elbow, and the swivel is incorporated into the elbow joint. Then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. There isn't anything at the midsection, but there is a ball joint down here for the waist. Crunching forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. Because there's padding for the legs, they are more restricted and these armor plates collide with the belt, but you can move this out of the way or even tuck this piece underneath it. They will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee, going past 90, and then a hinge and swivel for the ankles. Good for forward and back, rotation, and if you want ankle tilt, you're going to have to rotate the joint inside this fur piece, then it will go side to side. Wrapping up on Infamous's The Gravel, that was his third-party name, aka Korg, based off his appearance in Thor Love and Thunder. He's not entirely flawless, but he is entirely dope. I love everything about this figure, well, except for the faded pants and the elbow joints, but everything else I'm here for. Is he an insta-buy? Maybe. We've been waiting ever since Ragnarok for a Korg. We're still waiting for Meek, maybe one day. But I don't see anyone else having the stones to try this, especially not at this scale. The sheer size of this guy is what gets me. The presence he has is undeniable. And that's perfect for Korg. He does exactly what he needs to. He grabs your attention in the display right away, and he holds it because he is chock full of detail. He doesn't come with a ton of accessories. I do like the mace. I would have liked some switch out pants perhaps, but I'll stop harping on the pants. Overall, I am very pleased. This is Infamous firing on all cylinders, and I cannot wait to see what they're working on next. Now, I got mine from KG Hobby at a discount. As always, all opinions have been 100% my own. This is not a promotional video, this was a review. I have popped a link to their site in the description below for your reference purposes only. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.